Oh, yeah. Oh. I walk through shadows, face my fears, but your laughter wipes away the tears. In the silence, I still hear your song. You're the reason that I stay strong. Your love's the light that leads my way. You're closer than you think. My love, bound by the hands of God above. His spirit keeps our hearts entwined. Forever yours, forever mine. Through every trial, you give me hope. With every heartbeat, together we go. Distance fades, our spirits fly. With faith so deep we touch the sky. With you, my soul has found its home. You're closer than you think. My love, bound by the hands of God above. His spirit keeps our hearts entwined. Forever yours, forever mine. In every moment by your side. With God's love our hearts collide. Ooh. Oh, yeah. Oh. I walk through shadows, face my fears, but your laughter wipes away the tears. In the silence, I still hear your song. You're the reason that I stay strong. Your love's the light that leads my way. You're closer than you think. My love, bound by the hands of God above. His spirit keeps.
Pacho Baswa na we me to Kakra Amayan. Aha, TRK Multimedia Medin area ata ba for Jambra, you can call me the Royal King.
Through every trial, you give me.
Saturday on Passy na be discuss our rear home and sem.
We go distance
He said, "Baby, na ACC wa our rear mu and so esan say
so deep we
Bible say enam nimdia membe ninti na omoyira."
My soul is found.
You know the Council of Living say Pacho mo akwaba wafabosis ba also akwaba.
My love, bound by the hands of God above. His spirit keeps our hearts entwined. Forever yours, forever mine.
Last week we talked intensively about couples having separate bank accounts. Is it a healthy relationship or is it a healthy type of marriage, Anna? And then we're going to talk about marriage and they say marriage is just a paper, a piece of paper. If you have an argument, you can change my mind. Another topic is that we should marry your best friend, not your passion. Into two nina no obemwa. Nia obe to me akarana what discuss. There is a saying say marriage is just a piece of paper. You can change my mind. Is it true or not?
Your love's the light that leads.
But just say, "Oh, tell me voice at Bombody and Mami thumbs up." Ewa see ho. Na yan kwa media ni so. Aha, TRK Multimedia. We are currently live on TikTok, YouTube, and Facebook.
His spirit keeps our heart.
If you're on Facebook, you can send out messages at the comment section. If you're on TikTok, you can send us messages at the comment section. And you can join in the box as well. But if you're on YouTube, we'll send us messages on the comment section as well.
With every heartbeat, together we.
Good afternoon, Garozi Papa. Garozi here to say.
With faith so deep we touch the sky.
Mo hwɛ mo YouTube no say o asem bia ya concerning nia e be ka ho sem sesi no a.
My love bound by the hands of God above. His spirit keeps our hearts entwined. Forever yours, forever mine. In every moment by your side. With God's love our hearts
Seems I'm having a little bit of let me see.
I walk through shadows, face my fears, but your laughter wipes away the tears. In the silence, I still hear your song. You're the reason that I stay strong. Your love's the light that leads my way. You're closer than you think. My love bound by the hands of God above. His spirit keeps our hearts entwined. Forever yours, forever mine. Through every trial, you give me hope. With every heartbeat, together we go. Distance fades, our spirits fly. With faith so deep we touch the sky. With you, my soul has found its home. You're closer than you think. My love bound by the hands of God above. His spirit keeps our hearts entwined.
In French, I mean, there was a little bit of hitches or YouTube, so I was trying to fix it.
In every moment by your side. With God.
You see, our real a piece of paper, just a piece of paper. Nimbacha obasu ya continue na like it page you know na wash na bibia ye kama.
I walk through shadows.
Big E Mpacho Mawakwaba, Council of Living Seed Mawakwaba, Medasi Bibri, Joanna Wilson Mawakwaba, is it lovely mom Mawakwaba, Ubibia Wabasubia Mamina Akwaba.
I stay strong. Your love's a light.
And Chibia Edge Media and the Basis Susia. Question is say marriage just a piece of paper. You two in somewhere 18 and saying to Yama Yatia say marriage now whatever can say oh no. Sabi SNA losing the credibility no. And yes any uncle Ponchi share no. Akwa say just a piece of paper. Oh, a piece of paper now you can choose to live in your separate places. And I still an warrior. Eh no kura na but me change my mind.
The week distance fades, our spirits fly.
Say oh just a piece of paper. A friend say marriage certificate you know. You guys can choose to stay at separate places. Still, I almost consider that as our no correct.
You're closer than you think.
And I say marriage is just a piece of paper.
His spirit keeps our
Nana ma be King Pacho ma wakwaba blessed ma wakwaba King Gail KN ma wakwaba. Yo, welcome to this very page. Bidin Eddie attack about for Jambra to me Ephraim the Royal King.
With God's love, our hearts collide.
So Obaswa na wama mehu na say you want to come and join the talk. Garozi Papa Pacha Utiemia. Mr. Bibri Bombodia na say Obajonia na also watch that waging.
I walk through shadows, face my fears, but your laughter wipes away the tears. In the silence, I still hear.
You see, young worry, you're down for young worry, your best friends,
I stay.
not our passion. And also, no cry, I say, you know, could able to me, I join it. That we talk. Why?
Away. You're closer than you think. My love, I'm by the.
I didn't think that Ebinum Efre, our race, say just a piece of paper. I didn't think. And Caneno, yes to Christo. With your Bible, more if you have for no more, I'm saying Pharisee for and as if you have for no more Bisano, be about our Moses. You see, a eye for eye, tooth for tooth, or your bonia, Bibinia, to me, a jano. You should be more and away jano. Yes, Christo, see, and yes, I made your washer no air. As she said, no, a maso din, Macoma dinty, and a Moses or Yanis, but I said, no, then yes, sir, and a major or washer no, or she said, no. Enti no yene Moses be yadwen yene Yesu Kristo so be yadwen yana enye saa na yejo wo so hihye no ya sisa anti na be ma be free ni na ne reja fie aba be ka na yere ho obeka oba no ho no ma ye honam baako na honam baako de ha ka honam baako live in separate places. Honam wa mo ye baako no, how can you live in separate places? Enti no ama sisi ana aware akwakoye bibi enka na ena ma edwuma nti esan edwuma nti no na mo ware wi a ebi abe ma no wo sefi oba no wagona so eduru oye edwuma ohwe nkwara no ebi oton ade kakra wo dwum no ohwe nkwara na be ma no so oye teacher ni ya post no ko sefi ebi a oye nurse ni ebi a oye edwuma wo cocoa board ebi a oye edwuma wo the world veteran patcho ma wakwa aba bebre ebi oye edwuma wo bebi oye edwuma abanju ebi oye bia na ye post no ko sefi ye post no ko kuma se bron half ye de ko volta ye de ko ha because of that in internal separation ewum but enu mpo no emu ho school for no makwan a me kai pa me maame na me maame no me maame na according to me beto yo ne say omu na onim papa was aman kese until say owo ntafo yen me me twin sister na assistant no mu aye din because onye obi obeboa no ntafo hwemu me na bedi ho kakra ba chembe ho anaja se bi omu ha obi dan amotimu de ebesi den na wase be manumi ne ntafo mu na mugu chembe ho no enti ekoba se sa de ne me ma me nge transfer emra yekuru mu agonedu akwa eno na ema me ma me ba agonedu akwa because of enkwara ne enti se ni obenya obi esoro mu no betumi akọ school ekodi ni pa Matias here enti no eno no ye for a reason enti ina entem no ye den etete ye ana mu ye adwuma na no mpo no ye makwan bia senia isaman kasi fo ina behu se me ma me da so ware no nja ware ani nti no school for makwan bia mo se ma me asesa yi na ye ko papa ho na ye kodi akwama na se still a ware ani ye valid e wo ho ebu a weekend me papa fi ye kurum weekend bi eye wo ho a na papa ba no obi di be 3 days o ye fie o ye ho no sanko but me ma me de na because of yen nti no ye makwan ya na ja ko no wakwa akodi be say akubi wakwa ma no ye 3 weeks ibu wa ye 1 month ibu wa 2 months Ghana kwa ma long vacation ya kwa akodi be 2-3 months Linda from Pompa Jamo wakwa ba ho Oba Pacho keep on liking the page and keep on following us. Your live so YouTube any Facebook into no ubo to me adwani and hustle na what's any messages. Say if today happen to be the first time I would and I say unsubscribe ya bombo and subscribe. I hate TRK Multimedia. Entino na aware no to me maame ne papa no na enye just a piece of paper. Just say maame ne be kwa kosen sign na wagi piece of paper aba betena baby. No wato na adwum no okase me ye adwuma ahwe me mba abo me bra. Na be man so tini baby no so ebo ne bra. But at a point in time, you know, they make it a point to come together as one family, as husband and a wife. They might have their differences, but their differences is always resolved when they come together. The question is, Do we marry that piece of paper? The moment they get that piece of paper, and I don't know. Anything I want, whatever behavior I want, and I can put on because I have the piece of paper. Uba to make say because of Nkwarani, which is valid, which is good. Nkwarani my maintain has said, "You may you be as so mu." Nkwarani my maintain has said, "You may why we need to benefit be send ya ba bruchire." And for so be a was so benefit be on Kwala, me free was a benefit in Ababoy, to my maintain hakakra. But in Kwarana Makwanya, long vacation, what do? Do you still stay there? Abrochreha, say, oh, Abrochra, you were 1 month. Maybe I'll OJ leave, OJ Uber to me 1 month. Oh, you mean no Ababesana Ukunu. Ebinum wo Abrochre ya, Kruyamu, Umi no Bako or Washington, Bako, aha. No Maware, Nan Krata. No Biati baby, everybody, brother. Is marriage just a piece of paper? The Council of Living Saint Pacho or be Hutu Mana Yashenia able to me. But your bar was watching able to me Afro, so I watch watching. Is marriage just a piece of paper? I know, and I come home as MCC. Ushe YouTuber, Pacho, marriage is it just a piece of paper? And I said there's more to it than a piece of paper. And I say, oh, warrior, now I worry, oh, best friend, not your passion. You will be worry your best friend. About your counsel, I said, we saw a mommy the same feedback. Hello? Okay.
Yes.
She said, I think so. Counsel, you know, marriage is such a piece of paper. And I said, we should marry our best friends, not our passion.
Yeah, I'll start with the marriage is just a paper.
Oh, okay.
And thank you this morning. Thank to everybody who has tuning. Yes. Yes, I mean, people would say, just as you also made it, there's a lot of situations and circumstances and marriages going on right now that makes it seem and feel like marriage is just a paper. And it's sad to say that something which we believe from a Christian perspective, that God created a union, a relationship, a bonding, a covenant that God created, has been reduced in our current society to just the paper. And indeed, as we can see that the divorce rate is 1. And for even the people in diaspora, we can see so many marriages which is just in the face value, the paper that they, to get maybe papers. It's just a paper because you are using it to get paper. Yeah. So there are so many things going on right now that has made it so. But if we are seeing it, then we are looking at the origin. As in Genesis chapter 2, verses 24, reads that therefore a man shall leave his father and his mother and hold fast to his wife, and they shall become one flesh. So that tells us that God saying this from the beginning is before government, people's law, the paper structure that we have right now. So God established that among human beings that we should have that kind of faculty, that place where we become one, we trust each other, we grow, we have family. So we also have kind of a church. It's also a picture of the church. Like in foresight, God was looking at the church when he says we also become one body in Christ Jesus. So this is something which is sacred to the Christian belief. But we know the world Christians are about like 2.4 billion according to Google. So the rest of the world, and amazingly, this is the more reason why we can also say it's from God, is that across all cultures and background in the world, marriage has been an institution which people either they believe in God or they don't believe in God. It's something that we all share. It's not like you say, oh, because Christian God or Bible says it, so it's just for Christians. But when you're looking at all cultures in history and even in all lands right now, you can see that the institution of marriage is sacred and people hold it to be true around the world. Yes, so that's something I can say first. If somebody else also want to add on to it.
Oh, okay. We don't have anybody right now. If someone else want to add on to it, the Worthy Veteran, if you are there, you want to join. Yeah, Rebecca Sorry, if you are there, you want to join. You are all welcome.
If you can just invite them to the top
Yeah,
here.
I've invited some of them, and one step. All right, so let's go on with it.
My soul has found its home. You're closer than you think. My love bound by the hands of God above. His spirit keeps our hearts entwined. Forever yours, forever mine. In every moment by your side. With God's love, our hearts
Hello, Kojo Bobo. Oh, apom to den.
Boko.
Eddie, I mean, I see. And seminar, you can communicate in who follow.
I'm not maybe follow.
What's it? A warna aban just a piece of paper. Ja oko for instance, court na oko your marriage certificate na like do you believe it, and I say you have different idea? Hello, could you? Hello. Oh, okay. I think could you drop into Council of Living Saint Pacho say who will be able to match us so we can continue with it.
every heartbeat
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's the word that has brought this whole thing so far. Because if you're looking at how the world is structured in terms of jobs, in terms of our aspirations and our visions and what we come into this world we try to do, it's kind of sometimes it makes marriage very challenging. For instance, if you're a young guy, you just living your life, you can live in a single room. So if how much money you need to live a life on this earth would be as much as you need, just some few much money. But if you're a family, you can't even drive just a saloon small size car anymore. You have to have a SUV depending on the size of the family. And when you have a kid, I mean, you're trying to have a kid when a woman is pregnant, and in the first year of the child, so that's 2 years of your life off, right? That you could have used it for yourself. And then when you have somebody that you marry, if you are not somebody that is spiritual, that you're looking into all elements before you marry the person coming into your life is taking space, is taking life, is taking, although you are going to have all these emotions and something good. So critics are looking at these things, that if you're looking at somebody that comes into this world and attaching themselves with somebody else, all the things that goes with it. And then people are like, okay, then I'm not marrying. Right. And then you're looking at other success rates, and then you're looking at divorce rates. You're like, okay, excuse me. You're like, okay, then I'm better off. Maybe somebody, because of somebody close to you, what marriage did to them. It was a very, very bad example, and it became your model. You're like, okay, all marriages are like this. Maybe your mom and dad marriage was off. So you're like, okay, look at how men treat all women. Men are all the same, so I'm not going to marry. So these are things going on in society that is causing, giving marriage a bad name. And yes, it makes people feel like, and especially like you're looking at benefits, right? Some people just look at the benefit, as you mentioned earlier on. You're like, okay, you marry, you get this, you get this, you get this, you get this, so that's it. But the element which makes it sacred, which would be commitment, work, the work that is involved. So many people nowadays don't want to. And I would say they just don't want to because they know and they don't. I will blame it to the fact that most people too don't know, like, how to even keep a marriage. Because if you're looking at it, for instance, here in the United States, the individuals that grow up without a mom or dad is high in amount of number. If you're looking at people who parents it kind of successively they came out of a successful their lineage. You're looking at their lineage. Was it a consistent lineage of married couple? Their great grandmother was married, their great grandmother married. You've seen that in their lineage, right? It's not there. There's always somehow you check in there was a break, there was a divorce, or somebody didn't marry. And those things also affect individuals when you come up, because it kind of rebuild on, as you are married, you're teaching your children the values, the importance of it. They also get married, they're teaching their values, importance of, but when there's a break in that cycle, that can impact the future generation if they're also going to marry. So a whole lot of things going on right now discourage people from marrying, or make them feel like, okay, if you marry, then it's just the paper for the benefits.
If say Odwin say just a paper, and also so big dream say just a paper, now why do you have to go in for it? I mean, you're going in for, is it for the benefit in a war corner? One man other partner no I aware say, oh, I'm coming in for just a paper. I'm coming in and say because say you me parents and I who movies no. Me parents hame. Say me worry until me say ye me no ye worry ye camouflage na ye worry. Na ye worry we are be better than baby. But subsequently no they will be demanding say in a mawa that then a hamo a bamba. Go to me aware say bi omunsia. Go to me aware say obi akwatra the baby no bia eye na yi. Obi ebo na djuma. Aso for Kuma for Akonta for Adamfo for everybody will be observing. Say our we is it say na America say me na because of yen or won't have for into even yen ye chikura so no mo yen tafo. But omumienu na instay. Into no or won't have for into na say onibua for e was amanke say ho ni yefi. Na say oyede oba baby obetumi anya me nana me auntie me cousins na de your sisters in Penifo no betumi aboa eso yemu na ono so betumi akwakwakere na de na wetuma ye nedwuma ane na e ma a separate ye. So say even that no kura no umamfa ahwase anyenda at the end of your makwan 3 months na mami aso ano ho no akwakodi 1 month 3 months and I say 2 months akwama no akwakodi wo ho. Umua ase me kwesa mankesi aba bukura o onka nchire so oko no say bia o committee ho bibi so na yinim so no kwasa mankesi, you know, into no say be a piece of paper. I think say e be depend on mo ankasa ina mo baba ade na a piece of paper. If you want it to work, you know, it will work. Meaning madam fu bia ono so akwakoware bi oba no na bia oba na adwemu de na bia o pese o ye the piece of paper, but oboba together ni wie no na ase oba na ba be do be ma no na be ma no so say because of mfaso we ya wo me hu nti no say wo di age me pa de and de me ye no piece of paper bi say wo ye ya wo fall de and na say let's go according to a piece of paper. So now say oba na akwakodo no nti say if you know say wo hia ade no abia oh okay me do mfie we e say me ware but me nya obi a me ware no me nya obi a me do nti no ebia me coin for our and try because me they me try your luck and that try error or whatever. Say who ko India na why you say me call because ebusuafo na adamfofo na adansefo wom obi edi adanse say ma ware ena na oka na aburo chire nti elda kwa me ntwi mpacho ma wakwa ba elda bibia boko de me te nka che Korea fo ho ye nti no say J-Boss ma wakwa ba ubotumi afoso ama mpacho bebre enti no sere ye ware na ya ye ne se o ya ware na obi abetumi atena baby o obi abetumi atena baby ope because of ejuma na se ebufu onimu dia and dia to me I think say it's a mistake. Se ebufu onimu na se ejuma nko adia adenti na ejuma no ejuma be na huntumi nye bi wo mumienu na huntumi nye wo faako ejuma be na mumienu na huntumi nye wo faako fa e bia na wo ejuma wo ye no edwuma bi wo bia wo ye New York ye ma o skapa but oba ha no ebi ni ha sa obesi de yin sika sa na say you are acknowledging the money over the union. You love the money more than mawari na mawari no. So let it be like that. Say in America, let it be according to your word. Say na mo choose no. Sa him for na Moses small ma mo ko mo say yet say in 30 ani eyi wo menu so. Yakopon say say na amaka na mo hunu sa na me ya mamo. Nti no say na mo hu aware no. Say mo hunu say just a paper. It will be a piece of paper until there will always be a problem. Cancel.
Yes, I think you said something very profoundly about how the two can make it as it is. So my first submission seems to address those that are not married, right? But if we are looking at those that are married, yes, some people may start and everything was all good to go, one flesh and everything, and then along the way, one makes it more than a paper, or the two of them makes it just a paper, right? Because of how they are treating the marriage. But we are looking at people in marriage, right, in terms of even pastors. It has a social kind of impact and social, because of societal status. People marry with that status. So maybe if I'm a pastor, I need to have a wife. So we have to, even if we are divorcing, we don't want to let the church know. So we need to make it seem that, oh, we are married. And even politics, you become a minister or you become a president, they want to see a family. So because of that society thing, on the surface, people may appear that, oh, they are married, but in the marriage, they know it's just a paper, right? So yes, I mean, it's something that is going on, which is sad to say is giving marriage a bad name. And when people are together like that, and because of just the paper, so we can see how are they making it just a paper, right? And you mentioned they can live separately and make it a paper. They can even stay in the same room, on the same bed, and their hearts are not together. Yeah, their hearts are not together. But they just don't want to divorce. They just don't want to make it socially, like everybody know that, hey, we are divorcing. So they live together.
Go ahead.
They will live together and still they are not together. And that is the sad thing, because people don't realize that if it's spiritual, because I always put it like we have three types of marriage. We have the cultural, the legal, and then the spiritual. So when there is the spiritual aspect of it, it's not just anything that the two of us have done physical. It's not just that at all. Like you're looking into, when we say somebody is a Christian, it's not just because you said you're a Christian alone. It's not just because you baptize in water alone. There is a spiritual aspect of it that makes you a Christian. So when the two are one, there is a spiritual aspect of it that makes the two one. So I put it like, even when the two decide that we have divorced, they physically they may destroy the paper, they may go to court and have the paperwork that they've divorced, but spiritually God still had them together as one, because it's only God that can separate that union that the two have when they became marriage. So you may live together and think, oh, we divorced, or you may even divorce and think you're divorced, but spiritually you are still one. So that is a very important aspect that we need to understand when it comes to marriage and the spiritual ordinance or spiritual kind of sacrament. Or it's a covenant. It's not just because we said we are married. And I know we've moved away theologically from the fact that, oh, this one, God gave it to me. I mean, because I know growing up, that was very common. Even preachers preached about it. God gives people to marry and people are put together as such. So I know we moved away, but that doesn't mean that God doesn't put people together, right? Like before even they were born, they knew each other. God kind of in a way bind them together when they came into the world, that their life is intertwined or interconnected, that they have to come together as one. But nevertheless, if you are marrying under the legal, which because as I said, we don't separate the three types. We think all marriages are the same. And that's why when people are living a paper marriage, we still call it spiritual marriage, but it's not. It's true. Their marriage is paper. They especially in some societies, in some kind of brackets, middle income, low income, high income, especially rich folks, We know that most of them live that life, that the wife is just by paper, because he knows if he divorces the wife, it's going to bring a whole lot of issues. So they understand each other, that they're living together whilst he is doing all that kind of, he has his chicks, he has his side chicks, he has all the concubines, and he has all every life that he want to live. The wife understands that, hey, it's just the people, because if we split, we're all going to lose. So then, hey, just live your life and I live my life. But everybody around the world will know that we are married. And it's the same thing with celebrity marriages. Most of these celebrities and stars, musicians, soccer, footballers, basketball players, most of them, their marriages are just by the paper. And lo and behold, you're looking at their divorce rate along the line, they can't hold it together anymore, so they just divorce. So yes, there is that paper marriage, and that's what we need to emphasize. There's a paper marriage, which in so many societies you are allowed to do. People just go for the paper, and then they use it for filing taxes. They use it for gaining benefits of the society. And then there are marriages which is just cultural, right? They just marry, it's just the culture, so they can have as many as but cultural marriages, most cultural marriages are not paper. You are not giving any paper as a certificate of marriage. You just go through the culture. You just meet the parents, or you do what you have to do. You become married.
Okay. Ebusia aha ATRK multimedia. Media the ataba for Jambramene, the Council of Living Saints in a year was no patch say opese o fosroha obu to me Afro Unique. Thank you so much for joining. And let me see, is Mami Ajua, you all welcome. Cecilia Kessie, you are welcome. Yeah, discuss about our warrior. Yes, our warrior for today, you know, just a piece of paper. Just a piece of paper. If you agree, I mean, come and tell us you agree, or if you don't agree, come and explain to us why you don't agree. If you agree, you tell us why you agree. If you don't agree, you tell us why you don't agree. Ntiano ena yeguswa yedi hu enkomo. Another topic woho for ene obotumi echusu na wakamu asem na yemienu ba so should you marry your best friend, not your passion, or you should marry your best friend, not your passion. Intino I say ware oyonko pa with best friend say na mbete mu ho ase. And yet, wa kondo and I say, passion correct. Can't say, cancer, passion, can't say, tree museja. One of my tree pin for what a young copa and yet, wa kondo, pacho. I'm inviting all of you to climb up here. And on any yedu and come on, what a yonko, and men ware or passion, yeah.
The hands of God above, His Spirit keeps our hearts entwined. Forever yours, forever mine.
So uhu aware for today as just a piece of paper, and uhu aware for today as just a piece of paper, and I said there is more to it than what we see. Kaneno na aware fair because na emma dodo no ana nye adwuma nti de mema na ye adwuma nti de bia na emma no eka omukun no ho. But enam so na ebi wo ho a na adwuma 17 ye post ni kun ekọ echichiri okose mu sa be bosumi miensa na afiansa wa baba akọ the word you better pacha mo akọ aba
Shadows face my fears, but your
okose mu abosumi miensa na afiansa wa baba akọ
in the silence I
eno na sha se ede second wife na isa check yi eba
strong.
because wakoshe ho aba 3 months je oye before the numo ho baby
That leads my way.
no ba yi nko atiti ni bo wirem no oti ho
Then you
satam na mba na omofo mu echi no omofo mu kunu echi na ndo so sa o
hands of God above
banda de wa wo hokra ye fo wechi
keeps our hearts entwined.
woti ho no kra ye fo wechi
Forever mine.
wona wodane wo ho a o se ye hallelujah
You give
wo
me
kwa akọ
with every
na
heart.
wo kwa akọ ye adwuma no no so ti ho
Oh,
yin scan de ba no so de sugar boy
our spirits fly.
enti no ama aware akọ ye bibi e wo ho
We touch the
Inti
sky.
because of that, inti yehu aware say just a piece of paper. Umetumi aware. Me fa yesi etwa asem bi hu eyi na edi so asem bi so na aka ma na yi. Ya ma me akosu ase wa ne da lumba yi. Sisi ana e wo ne mam se o ma ware ebusuafo so o ma ware. Ya se o mo wan krata se o ma ware. And so omatumi atena mo separate ways for 17 good years. Sebio impemu akrokra no omundi bi da. Eya ware na this is what we are asking for. And yellow money akusa say was on the about media assembly be every example. So these are some of the things that we are looking at. Can you marry for your wife to stay at different place and you too you stay at different place? For how long can you stay? But the word we were more akwaba. The word we were trying, are you there to talk?
No, I'm not ready right now.
Oh, okay. All right.
Laughter wipes away the tears. In the silence, I still hear your song.
But what about so now? Opese udin komono. The cancer. But say who bibia you can continue because
Yes, sir. Yeah, I think you brought up something that people living afar. So another legal, the paper marriage, that's I mentioned, the legal marriage, right? In so many places, even in Texas here, when you leave the matrimonial home, it's time like you've abandoned the marriage, and the marriage can be
for how long?
I believe it's 1 year also. But that I wouldn't be quoted on. I mean, can do the research. But there's a number of years which, if you leave the home, the marriage.
I know you are there.
Divorced.
Climb upstairs. Climb here.
So that means the other partner can take it to court and then dissolve the marriage. You can make it void. So yes. So on the paper, even the paper acknowledges that if you leave the home, you abandon the marriage, right? You two are no longer in agreement that, hey, I want you to live here, you two live here. Then the marriage on paper can be voided. But as I said, if it's the spiritual marriage where the two of you have agreed to live, I mean, as I said, when it comes to the spiritual marriage,
marriage, you know, what do you mean by that? They're like, which one can be classified as spiritual marriage?
The spiritual marriage, it's all like belief, right? When we say God, right? We believe in God, we have faith in God. God we don't see, God we are not with, but we have faith and believe in God. So the spiritual marriage is when the two believes, right? Believes in the principles of marriage as laid down in scriptures or under which religious institution they are. But as we know, the God of the Bible is the God of the universe, the God of creator of the whole world. So we are looking at the Bible principles as the one that lays the foundation for the marriage, right? So in the spiritual marriage,
for both families to accept.
Yes. So for the spiritual marriage, when the two becomes married, right? As we know, even when it's not necessarily because the pastor blesses it becomes a spiritual marriage. It's just the same as when we say you're a Christian. It's not just because you baptize or a pastor pray for you, you're a Christian, right? It's God that makes you a Christian. So the time and when God unites the two, myself, I don't know. But we believe, it's a belief. The two of you believe that God has put you together. The two of you believe that you are living together forever, nothing to separate us apart. The two of you believe and hold each other responsible, care and love for each other. The two of you, as we know, two people, sovereign people coming together, right? One must submit. There's no way two people coming together, sovereign individuals, made of God, ye are gods, right? As the Bible says, come together and then the two will move in the same direction without one submitting to the other. And as we know, the submission in Christianity is not necessarily become a slave of the other or become a punching bag for the other or be disrespected by the other, right? But it's just that the two of you are together. But when it comes to decision points, like in any job, we have a manager. In any two human sovereign people coming together, there must be a leader. And then the Bible puts the man as a leader. And if you can submit to a man, then you make sure you marry a man you can submit to. So there are so many men. Why you choose a man that you can't submit to is something that is hard for me to understand when it comes to women, and they are saying we can submit and we can submit. Yes, there are some men. I myself, if I have a daughter, I would not let that my daughter submit to such a man. Because he's not a man who has any moral principles. He's not disciplined. He's not responsible. He's not accountable. He's not transparent. He can't be trusted. How are you submitting to such a man? And where are you two going if you have such a man as a husband, right? So that is something you have to deal with when you are getting into marriage, so that you make sure somebody that you hold dear, somebody you find God in that person. That person loves and respects a woman. That person loves God. That these are things as we have in the other discussion. Do you marry a person, your friend, or you marry just your passion, right? So these are things that goes on before we marry. But let's move away from there and come to where we are, as in a sense of what is spiritual marriages, right? So the spiritual marriages, as I said, is those two people. You have to be in the same religion, right? You have to be a Christian, I have to be a Christian for us to have that understanding that, hey, God is in this marriage. Because if the person is not a Christian, how does he even know God to really live by God principle of marriage? That you shouldn't have another woman when you are married to that woman, right? It's God principle. There are God principles. You, the man, have to love the woman. When she submits to you, you have to love just like Christ loved the church, which is even more duty, more work than just to submit. I find the love aspect to be so harder than submitting to the man. Because when you are loving to death, Jesus loved the church to death. So you gonna love that person to death. Jesus loved it so much that when we had nailed him to the cross, pierced his side, he still said, God, forgive them. Father, forgive them. Are you willing to love the woman so much you even forgive her when she's killing you? So love is it, because we think passion and desires are just like love. We think that is an easy thing because already you have that passion. That's why you married her. So you think I already love her. No, it's so much work than just for the woman to submit to you. So yes, so when it comes to spiritual marriage, the two of you needs to have some theology, some understanding of the spiritual sense when the two of you are together in a spiritual body. And that's how you live your life till death do us apart. You respect, you forgive, you work together, you trust, the person also trusts, you don't betray the trust. All those things comes under the spiritual principles as we know of. But outside the spiritual principles, if you are living you marry just by the paper, you have no spiritual understanding of what a marriage is supposed to be. You don't understand that you need to keep to that woman. You don't understand that girls will come your way, women will come your way, co-workers will come your way. You go out to the night, you don't stay out night. Anytime that you want, you come home to the house and you are not accountable to your partner. All those things are spiritual principles, right? But outside the principles, if we have just legal marriage, it's just that's how we are married. It means we are together based on these contracts, based on these rules, based on this agreement. So if it's not in the agreement, why should I do it? If I don't have to do anything in the house, it's in the agreement. I don't have to do anything in the house. So far as I pay the rent, I don't have to do anything in the house. That's the agreement. So by the paper as legal, you cannot agree to do anything that you want. I can agree that, hey, by people we are married, maybe I can go out anytime I want. I can have so many side chicks. You don't have to talk. You don't have to do anything about it. So far as I obey the legal agreements that you and I have agreed and signed on to be in a relationship. And as I said, it's so sad that even that we call it marriage. And that is the problem, because at the end of the day,
you have cases like that.
Definitely. There's so many marriages because
I can do my own thing. I can just go out anytime I want, go have how many boys I want. That's not your problem. How many girls I want, that's not your problem.
Yes, my brother. In this country,
So
there are so many instances.
that one becomes, what do you call it? It becomes kind of friends with benefits.
Well, it's just that they are in a relationship. As I say, every marriage is a relationship at first, and then it evolves under it becomes marriage, right? It evolves into marriage, and that's what I said. When God puts the two together in the spiritual umbrella, I don't know when, it evolves into marriage, and then you can bless it, or you even, and that's the whole thing too, right? Like if I teach people that, hey, even when you two have not have a pastor to bless it, it can be marriage. God put you together. And some people are like, no, you have to have pastor to bless it before you become marriage. I'm saying, no, it's not like that. It's God that put the two together, right? In those days when there was no pastor, does that mean God didn't put people together? That's a false assessment to make, right? So it's the same thing. People can live together on terms as roommates, and then later on they go to court and then they get the paper to let society know that they are married, right? But in themselves, the spiritual principles that we call marriage is missing. They don't do anything as we understand as a marriage. You have to be responsible to your wife, you have to be responsible to the family, you have to be there, you have to be doing this. No, they live their life, you live their life, but on paper they are married.
Okay, I could see a puppy being pachama about Rosemary, Mamina Aquaba, ATRK Multimedia.
In the rhythm of the night, we sway.
Our warrior, just a piece of paper now, and then send your warrior, I idiot. I mean, in some our warrior and some social media, bibri, yeka. Can you know because now you need social media in somebody be by yente, caught in somebody be by yente. Pona udi bimpo aye wa futu. And so Ladi Lumba ni akoja se wa de yi eba aye. And crofo bebre especially because say yenu anu memba no. We dey mo fan cheme say me isolate mo. Yenu anu memba no. Ukọ me say bebre se no mu di memma tem no. Se no mu di memma tem no me hu bebi asa ma no fi. As if say memma na asa no musubante. Ama crofo bebre akosuro aware sesei. Omo painted that lumba so oya bronsam. Sabi o yeso ye kraman. Ebi so oya ponche. Hey. Nina yeah, because they were living in separate places. Living in separate places e di nyama bebreba. E di sem bebreba, moti separate places are oba betumi afọ wechi akoye na ade. Be ma so betumi afọ na chi akoye na ade. But yanche wo say yanche wo na ofi say wo ye kronkron age say yeso mu. Unique mbachama wa kwa ba. Unique. And then the first time I was
I don't say.
It's another first time I was program so. Ma kwa papa.
Eh, wadaroma.
Unique na Ghana boko de.
Nyame adumu na say.
Yankopo adum ukunu mba na edwuma bibia e boko.
Nyame adum ko so hene.
Unique na nsema e ho ayedi hu nkomo no say aware sesi ana ama nkrofo bebere ko hu aware say just a piece of paper. Unya just a piece of paper na utumi tena baby na oye ne ya wope. Uji tum ana say wunji tum. Aware no akwa ye piece of paper. Unique. Udi obotumi a kire wa adwen kakra obotumi no.
Aware de enye paper asem. Aware enye paper asem. Enti ase Broni beka say communication. If you people lack that communication, dear, enya worry. And I want to me worry obi so nkotina baby mo obi so nkotina baby. Then e ba ya e fan say me akotan baby a me kunu so akotina baby. And I worry so be so nso a efiye mba no. Enye mba ma no. Ukunu fif ejuma ba say na udi hia no. And then they be sorry and they blame them, but most of the time we are the cause of the problem. Because me say, Mr. Semetina warriors, no, Mashanyama bebre, and I'm to Musanka or baby to say me, Uncle our go and answer we got now, we so got now, ember. So what am I say?
What are some of your experience? Yes, Ben wash out to mediate to a month for.
Experience I can say abotre ye pa because who ni abotre baby be one aka bibi e won say de unka asem si a wo de tena se relax na won dwen hu mienu asa na wakasa because wupa we obapa wo ta ware na se kra wo fun na be ma na onu so abefa abesi ne fie Atamati entino be ma ni bufu a wo de ma ne nkasa nya se bia we jini ana se bibi se manu si bibi so na kuma to ni yema o mi kunu o mi nua be ma na enye se na me ka wo ba na se na me ka wa antimase enti so yo be ma na adwin wo fia o mi do ma so se mi di me bufu echi na peace aba Sometimes we say, "Dear, I'm ready to move on. I'm ready to move on."
Unique.
Yes, now question because me dey know example. And ope bi amanu me won say bi kunu sorry I need good mood because in be ma problem doso. Ti mo sorry ye na ma adwena say mo ye calculation. Me find this car be fie. So what I say? To say me who say anopa me nko kasa no kra na no akoma to ni yem no aposo no be kasa me so me ni be kasa if say be ma mu go through a lot papa so what I say se me so me dia make che me nua no mu ba ne so mu nya mbotre ma be ma no even though yes so sometimes ye be wu se ne be tene fie na ade so yin na egum be ma ne so this training because I'm be myself be bio manu akasa yamba bebre betomum yamba bebre and they say madam for be friend also before baby akotena Germany obano atu akotena baby and ono so ti baby 1 year ni onfa no hu nka obane ye
Wow.
And they say, Echinaka. So what I say, we are the cause of the problem. We are always pushing the men, but we end up blaming the men. We have to know that say the way you be banned, so you be ba. Sometimes it's now I never catch him say, some worry engineer, be free me. Meaning say sometimes I miss someone soon and make us out. Okay. So what I say, intino. Me the person the menya sa akonya we a make kasa man for better say mba so we have to work on ourselves. We are in this together with the men are not alone in this. So many women go into marriage without knowing the consequences. You adia ukwe unya wadwin say wadwin ya say because of food the bema no on be say bema ni beja wunti no me ware chinchina e dey me ware no so esini tekrema krapo ekun so what am I say esini tekrema ekun pastor na omo hye wan ho mu obi anti omunka. So we have to start educating the ladies before we educate the men. The woman say bema bonifu gugo but papa for ne doso. And I am barn a man bearman, I am bonifu. Does it make sense?
Yeah,
I'm not saying anything.
Yeah, it's making sense, pa. It's really making sense. And I make say that lumana kusa se was mbai. Nkofwe di mema tema say mema ye bronsam to the first class.
Me that the lumbani akosa se was me na me mpese make ba meka bibi kakra. If I say me body ba me if I say me no aware. Na say me yes scenario. Na say ye can say me ye year ubeja me oni oba fofra kwa ubebre. So oba fa mechi krap asa awo no po emba wutim se oni obi fofra ba kwa ede eba akowo. So what am I say? Into sometimes so no me incident we akoso nyina somewhere or somehow no me blame me you can say papa no but me blame papa ne so sa me blame me second wife no so me blame me second wife no so if you say papa na nko second wife ne pa second wife no so fa no nko say sometimes me bi ma say di me because you be got we are NG credit. What am I say? Because I can't name the baby. One cause me pay one car. Can't so on count that was a pan. Sometimes one funny the bear man share na him. So So what my son na dey mo ka say or ye side mo omo dey side because dem mama no se kawa ya ware no. So what my say enti no ewia say ye wo we na obeyi na no wewu. Enti mini ye nyina ye nim ade potin mu kwa wa ase ni mu ade apa ni fi asama ado ba no beyi na no eno so no enyi ade e beba so ene mpanifo ka asem se so obi aboji se ehia na wa se so esi wudie because obi efie mensa wom
Exactly.
obi efie mensa wom because wa wutina wo sisi unya oba oye good ote wase bibia kama obi antem nka bibia akoyi a menya sure say obejai sa oba no anya oba fofra kowo
Davida
what mase ti bibia ye ka e wo say ye nka ni hie na ye hu say ade a ye no e tina bi ye ka na ye ana ade me yanzu say ye mfa efutu onfrim
okay.
I tell you, I could the same mistake. Me say me kunu me wuzo ni oba foforo she ho a. Me ja wa che. Me ntwa ma be ma ni wupo ma me be prepre. Mbe nya me bi awunya. So what ma say? Enti no ewi ase wo no matter how Bema is wicked or by is wicked no. You want to meet now my ka se fa se kai entwa o minim.
Okay.
So what ma say? Se won pe kasa. But I don't know this kind of war minimum. Now, what free? So I try some by the second nature area, Nipane way, no. After Baby, the day. It doesn't mean to me, it doesn't make sense to me whatever is going on because, me, to be frank, I am
Unique answer ebe jamo wakono. Second topic in here is you should marry our best friends, not our passion. And also ube kande nkakra afahu.
Oh, best friend, not our then. Bibia no statifi baby. So what ma say? Me shao, me ni jon. So what ma say? Enti mu ani abeye. Me say me worry my best friend. Oh, because the best friend only me sum sembia. So what ma say?
Okay.
Ba me ni Bema e wo ho na se ye nante saa ni se ni kunu so ye madam fo se si ameka me bibi a che no
that's what we mean and you say wo bi a wo ye wo best friend pa fitititi na kware no
okay
ye pa je say wo ware a ma wo kunu no wo yere wo kunu na
wo kunu nya bibi a ani de ani gitu
woni ni konto kwa resolve woni ni like woni bia woni ni weak point woni your person and only
any day na mo kan dey no because me kunu say ye eduma ko se ya na ye sere nya asenya ye na ye kunu obi ante ya asem no third partner asem si ya ye mienu a nti ye say ye wa asem nya hwehwe bi boko ba yintem if you say ye nim dey ya de fitama ye say ye twempna saa be si ende nti no e depending how Bema will be share. We are saying I say ye three, Bibia ye three, enti we are one by say Bibia obey bia unshani papa. We are saying
okay.
Yo
unique with us find that we great occasion in Yankopo Israel. I mean cancer wo but marry your best friend not your passion no. Ma ye ka bibin fa hona ye nhwe say ebia the weather transfer already so bekasa.
Yes, I think you put the definition kind of federal in the sense that if you marry, then within the marriage you become friends. But I think the topic don't suggest that. It says we marry. That means going into the marriage, you marry your friend or you marry your passion, right? You marry with your passion. And I think when it mentions marrying your friend, it's not necessarily looking at it on the face value as just, oh, I'm looking into my friends, which one do I marry? But you are trying to understand that marriage comes with compatibility. You're looking at the person that, because there's an assumption that if somebody is your friend, at least you have something common that makes you friends. If somebody is your friend, and if you're an individual who choose friends wisely, that means the person has gained a level of trust to be your friend. Because I know some motivational speakers and coaches that says that you have to be careful who you call friend, and you must have few friends, right? And yeah, so in that sense, that means that you are marrying a friend means that you are marrying someone that one you are compatible with, one somebody you can trust, somebody you can call your friend.
But don't you think, say, who can say motivational speakers, if you can't define marries your friend the way definition give different definition of friends, you know. Obi one definition of friend. Who you might have your definition of friend. Your obi who the friendship I was saying our kind of physical obi so who friendship, you know, as material things. In this maybe our friendship now all kind of might not be the same as near obi so again.
That's true. I mean, there are levels of friends, right? There are levels of, in terms of intimacy, right? If you have friends, there are some that you have levels of, I would say like magnets, right? There are those that are very close to you as friends, and there are those that are very far from you as friends. And I know people that have even friends all over the world. We have friends on the internet with this modern age, right? That you don't even know, you have not even met before, but you are friends. You count them as friends. But if we're looking at in terms of marriage, because the whole friend that we are talking about is related to marriage. You are marrying your friend, and we know marriage is intimacy. Marriage is somebody you are living with forever. So if you are looking at all the spectrum of friends, the one that you are marrying, then definitely we are looking at the one that is very close to you, that you be considering. And that's why we are saying if that statement to be true, we are looking at the fact that you are looking at compatibility. You are looking at what makes somebody your close friend or the friend that you would marry. So if we say marry a friend, then we are looking at marrying as a matter of compatibility, as a matter of trust, as a matter of who you can be intimate with. And then when we are saying you are marrying as passion, then you are talking about you are marrying because of what you feel right now, because of the sensations you get when you are about and around that person or the person you have in mind to marry. You are looking at just your passion. You are looking at just your feelings. You're looking at your lust. You're looking at all the things that makes you think around the person. That's what we're saying, passion, right? So you are passionate about the person. So if you're saying you are marrying, not necessarily that you are passionate about the person, but you are looking at your compatibility with the person, how helpful the person is. All those things are going into why you are marrying the person. And that's why the statement is saying marry your friend, not your passion. Because at the end of the day, in life, it all boils down to survival. The person that you're living with, how is it helping you to survive? It's very key. I mean, we will say all that we want to say about marriage, but it always boils down to when you marry the person, is the person helpful? That's the Bible also says the support. God said he's having a helpful mate. Is the person supporting you? And when the person is supporting you, is the person, and when it comes to support, emotional, psychological, spiritual, mental, all those things are things as a need of men when you're looking for support with the person from. And we know friends really help us in those areas. I mean, if you have a friend, somebody you can call a friend. And that's why you also mentioned when you marry, you have to become friends. Even if you are not just like husband and wife, but rather you're also friends. That means you share your visions, you share your dreams, you are transparent, you are accountable, you are people that are responsible to each other, you care for each other. That's what friendship brings. So I believe that statement should hold true, right? And I agree with the statement that you should marry a friend. Your friend should be you marry a friend and not just your passion, or not your passion, because sometimes the passion will reduce, the passion will somehow fade, the passion may not always be there. But if the person is friend, we say some friends are even closer than brothers, or they are thicker than brothers, that may be with you forever. But your passion is always not forever. I mean, I know, because when you're looking at all divorcees, they all tell you, right? They when they met them, they were passionate about the person. They had a feeling for the person. The chemistry was great. The love was great. Everything was great. But then why did you divorce? Then they're like, oh, he disappointed me. He betrayed me, right? All those things. So now, and all those things are something that went against their survival. They went against their support, right? The support was not there. He didn't even recognize me anymore. All those things.
But you know, these kind of like what you just, the statement that you just made, that you ask somebody and also, oh, Bibia Koye, everything was fine. Oh, he's one of the, I mean, he's the best person, blah, 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 blah. Nina, no, they don't really see it when they are in the relationship until they walk out. Before they realize that, Sana, he was the best of the best, or she was the best of the best. Most in Crawford, I mean, no, I can say, no. I said, they don't really see it until they walk out. They will say, then Sana Wikra was the best.
And that is in human fallacy, right? Sometimes what is close to you, if you are somebody who is always looking up, right, who is not appreciating what they have, you will always regret at the end of the day when you let go, right? You always regret. But if you're somebody who look at the little things that the people are doing, you would appreciate it, and then you know that what you have is all the best. And it's true in a sense that some people also think there's always a better one outside. The beautiful one are not yet born. So if you have that mindset, right, you definitely will be looking at when you have one, you still be looking, you still be seeking, and you shouldn't be. I mean, as we understand under the spiritual kind of marriage, you shouldn't be having one and then you're still looking outside. Your heart is still open. You still have more room to accept other people, right? And that if that happens, you will not even cherish what you have. You will always be looking out. You always be thinking, no matter what the person do, will not be you'll not be appreciative. You still feel like there's somebody better that can treat you better. There's somebody that can love you better. There's somebody out there that can care for you better. So you are not really appreciating what you have, right? So that is why when they get out, they just realize. And then another thing is that it's circumstantial. When you get out, you don't have whatever that the person is giving you, since it's support, right? If you're in a marriage, there is that level of support. So when you get out, for the moment till you get another one, there's definitely you're going to miss the person. There's definitely you're going to because it's not easy, right? When you get out, it doesn't mean that the moment you get out, sometimes it takes years for somebody to even get another person or get over the first relationship to be able to get another person. So, and that's why in that moment, people just reconnect with their exes, right? Because it's human, right? That support system is no longer there. That relationship is no longer there. There's a vacuum. And people tend to find ways to fill the vacuum. So, and then also in that vacuum, the moment of the vacuum, you always look back, even when the marriage was bad, right? Even that relationship was toxic, you still look back at it because there is a vacuum, and you have nowhere to turn your eye to, and then you have only that. And as our minds remember, you have only that to remember. You still fall for that person again, or you still feel like, I want to go back. You still feel like, he was the best thing, or maybe the person, as I said, the relationship in this sense was bad, but you still want to go back. So I think it's a human, psychological thing, and in human vulnerability, that in a vacuum, we still even go back to what we left, even when it was bad for us. We still want to go back to it.
All right.
Your laughter echoes like a summer day.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are looking at two topics, two statements that says that marriage is just a piece of paper. Marriage is just a piece of paper. So if you have any submission on that, you can bring your love, and Victor, you are welcome. Rita, you are welcome. Thank you for liking the page, Madam Rita. So if you are one person who believes in that statement, marriage is just a piece of paper, please, you can come up here, climb in the box, and share your ideas and your thoughts. And there is another one that says that you should marry your best friend, not your passion. And on a boy, I say our is just a piece of paper. Who agree and I won't agree. And I say worry or best friend. As I saying, Ubi Beka said, on the best friend pa dear my best friend, I can't marry my best friend because he knows my inside out. All the money I made in now on him. Menin na ekọ na eba. Menin na eye intino onim intino anya de my best friend. Obi you say me worry na I subsequently as time goes on we become best of friends. Ehun emu ni ohin na wo wadwen kire say statement we should marry our best friend not our passion no. Ebusuya aha TRK Multimedia Studios all the way from San Antonio. Na yegusu a ye di our relationship nkomo na make up say if you live in America or Canada, you have green card, you have citizenship, you have permanent resident or legal resident. You might even be a student, but you still have a legal resident permit. I'm recommending life insurance amount. I'm talking about life insurance that comes with living benefits. Because and then we are saying, Enyama bebre o kona wo be na yare ni owo ni amane enam inframemu. You never know when you're going to meet that time. And you know, I recommend Benis Jambra Emma. Oh yeah, expert or licensed financial professional who is based in San Antonio, Texas. Go to me, I contact him 210-852-3584. And I say, go to me, I send him a message, me inbox. Say you want to meet her, I'm going to connect you directly. And I also TikTok okra. If you are in TikTok, you can search for the wealthy veteran. On our box the wealthy veteran. In fact, inbox na catch it say you want to know more about the life insurance that comes with living benefit. Na on church room. Me amidi jumedi chame midi jumedi chame midi edi ataba fo jamra to me friend the warrior king. Mene the Council of Living Saints unique so aba be church na dwe ewo ha.
Your laughter echoes like a summer day. With every glance, my spirit soars. In your embrace, I found my shores. You're the light in the dark, a love that ignites a spark. Mon amour, me do
I love you, but we na kwa kwada ne entokwa. I love you, say we na ntiaso bie eni ho. I love you, we no na kwa yes atamfo.
forever be mine.
And then in Jumanti, we are saying I want in Jumanti because of job.
You're my morning, you're my life.
Esa in Jumanti no. Our for bebre no at different places. They are living apart. Obviously, me what San Antonio, me kunu ewo New York. Because me kunu ejumano ewo New York. Hono nyeska kesi edi befi. When him say staying apart, I say living apart no, and also in a side check no ever. Because all to hono that crew be niti be ne ya. He'll be a massage niti amano. One say I ended up in something different. And you know, if sacrifice, I don't know, cancel can I already sacrifice a woman. So, Bannon said, what sacrifice and now two cut that baby man or baby or what? But what in the acceptable what say now, me and you now, live in the same place. If you might be away day about obeying you, cross educating quite a bit, you might be. So, Bannon said, two are, call baby a bear man or one with you. Bear man is so to call Bannon one with you. Now, me and you now must stay one place. Sanwa na mutumi ama aware no aye kama. And yes, Sapadia, I'm telling y'all. Motifa kokra na eti saying and to kwane misunderstanding. Motifa kokra no. And to kwane ni eke ka ho. Na nkantum se mo betina separately. obi no born njom obekwa aka emaye na odi makoma bidi agoro obekwa aka memaye na odi makoma bidi agoro na afi die separation no ba na aye bibi e ho aware eye just a piece of paper send your crofo no and I say there is something more to it than just a piece of paper.
We sway. Your laughter echoes
Pacho uwa nana ma pacho mo akwaba amando mamuina akwaba.
with every glance. My spirit soars. In your embrace, I found my shores. When my heart smells you from afar, your scent
Pacho say uwa so na opese wo kan bibia obetumi akire wadwe sesia we are all waiting. Why not opese o kire wadwe? Maybe adwen foforo bi aba opese you want to talk about it, you can let us know that we talk about it.
you wanna kwacha. It's only you. My comare my heart keeps loving you. Mon amour,
Our just a piece of paper now. Our just a piece of paper now. Because that make us say me pa just example. Now they were all living together. I was a man kesi. I was chamber of Hobimu. And I chamber of na 2 chambers in a hole, I think, yeah. Na yina ayeti faako na mama chirade papa chirade omokoba kama until say yesi bibi na ma bibi esi until say mama won tafo eye me ene me twin sister me na eba behwe ye nkakra but ohwa otumu say chime ho de ebi asew ne nkola eda hall na eye bibi bebre intino charo pam no ma me na se ano okọ intino se me ma meje transfer na yede okọ yekurum se ne me na betumi suso yemu ma me yekuma bibi awo bia yankopon fa wo krensie mama bi abrado wa bibi awo bia yankopon fa wo krensie kufu jambra bibi awo bia yankopon fa wo krensie me bobo mu di ende me bobo mu di mpaso intino se me maame otu na okọ yekurum se ne amena na betumi Helena agree ma wakwaba me na betumi yesuso me maame mu kakra eno na me maame ne papa ntemu eye ekote ye ewo distance in terms of where they live but ni na echi no na because of ompesa aware ni ye adwumanti because omunim say long distance no aya ensem bebre because they wanted it to work, you know. Say ye makwanya na me maame afa yin na nkwara ni na obia Alex na ye hu no de ono otete akwantu. My sister Evelyn, my sister Emilia, me na my twin sister ata enemy na nipa for na what time ye na ye kwa sabankese. Ni ekwedi akwa ma ho ende ye kwa ase na ye kwa airport no. Ya address shepe. Kujina hafa ka kusi across kema across sata na across kwa ufi across kwa sabanke say 4 hours yedi timodie ka na ekoti say you know bicycle boko chapa boko na ya tutumu akwa kodua sabanke say kama na ija oyere ni okunu makwa kodua mo nkomo na yenso yehu ai fese yehu adofo ikushi adofo bebre you know enu they tried to make it work and it worked till death but and then enkwala bi enima nkaso ntafo yinti me kom mama me ahwe nkakra ana se enkwala ni nti me tra ma obi aboa me se motena ho motena faako nkwala no de na na ebehwe omo aje se mo ankata no mo manage na baako ye adwuma night na baako ye adwuma day na mama na eji eno mpo na eba saa ntokwa beba sometime enti aso ye betumi aka se ye ntumi nware na distance na obi antena baby ope ube ware na obi antena baby ope na enkrata aso no de wo so se yaware ye nkotwe mu ne de alaware no nguye na obi antena baby bone bra na se me the best for it second topic no say me ware me best friend do you think say me best friend me to wana o baby o wana ne yemu nhihyi ne say na me kuni wedidi me kuri den na ekoso what you say aha intino say my worry na say my worry me best friend which makes me agree with the second topic that we should marry our best friend, not our passion. So be our my best friend, not oti in Kamamia or what in Kamamia. So what distance are? Say award me. Say me so award no. Say we did. Say then ekoso. They will understand each other. So your best friend now, oben wumpa. Who go through pain kore mfano ho. Mfano ho. So do you agree with the fact that we should marry our best friends? You agree with that fact or you don't? And I will agree with the fact that marriage is just a piece of paper. And no any nkoma you go to say. If today happened to be the first time I would say and I say subscribe to our ATRK Multimedia, Mr. Bobody and subscribe to our channel. We are on YouTube, live on TikTok, live on Facebook. Into you to me, Eddie or comment eba. You to me, Eddie about Facebook, you to me about YouTube. But to me so Eddie aba about TikTok. Thank you all for liking the page. The Council of Living Saints. On them, you're in a chicken common. Yes, sister, unique so Abba Canadian. In this, I say, when I say open, say, also count the ampacho, Ubu to me, Eddie, also watching the Abba. Yen the Abba life, yes, that ain't Chessa, yen Tnemua for a long time. NTBA, no, yet life will be baby, because and the activities in it also. Chilawa Jane. Our rear just a piece of paper. Young warren and sign will be entering the baby. Now there ever my ya baby. What excuses can we give? Can we give any excuse? Say young warren entering your baby. And now I say we have a legitimate reason or unique reason to live apart. Say your warrior. Edith Owusuwa Akwa. Edith Owusuwa Akwa. Pacho ma wakwa ba. Obetumi a join e wo soro ha na wa kire wa adwen na wa bra program no e kosoro.
My only truth. Our heartbeat is just for you. Together we'll touch the sky. Mon amour, meadow. Oh baby, je t'aime toujours. Stay put, hanging there forever, be right.
Ye dia warrior ho enkomom pacho wo ho a mesre wa. Ubetumi the adwane e wo top ga say now the one with this aba relationship our real is it just a piece of paper ana oh warrior must you marry your best friend and I say worry or passion ɛno ne topics a yɛka ho asɛm ɛndɛ me a medi dwumadi medi ɛde atabaafo gyambra o woba a wotumi ɛfrɛ me the royal trk. Council uwo bibika uni bibika yebetumi na yede ade no aba ewieye ntino Council mpacho uwo bibika biom.
When my heart smells you from afar.
Yes, we're looking at marriage. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful place to be, and we all, to me, I would say we all should marry. But as we are saying, you marry your friend or you marry your passion. I would say marry your friend, marry a friend, because a friend supports you, which also fulfills what the Bible says. It's a helpmate. We get a helpmate to help you in life, as we also say. First law is survival. So for you to survive in this world, you need a help. You need a partner, and there's no better institution to have a relationship than to marry. But that to say is that we also have to understand that marriage comes with work. So whoever is going into marriage needs to be taught, needs to understand, needs to be aware, and need to also learn to love, to care, and then also to be responsible person when you get into marriage. So I think initially it was very, very structured in culture that people who are going into marriage should be matured. But it happens to be that nowadays we do have a lot of relationship that get sanctioned as marriage, but people don't really know, understand, or have no clue how to live a marriage life. So, and in all, for you to be spiritual, you all have to also believe in God and also walk by the principles of the Spirit, and then also acquire the Holy Spirit. A whole lot of stuff goes into it to become marriage that will last, marriage that will stand all trials and challenges, marriage that will grow, the two will grow together, and as we said, to death do us apart. So God help us, every marriage is God provide us all the strength to do the work of a marriage, and then also live in it in happily forevermore. Amen.
Amen. Council, but that's we break, but that's it. Say Ujani obi biara to me adwane me da we na ase adoma mamuna akwaba Evelyn Achia mamuna akwaba say o ho na say opese ujwane e wo box no mu ampacho obetumi request na wa adwane na bibia kama aha no yaba ye nhyeda enche sa ibia ya cha 2 hours depending on the situation intino aka krabi na yede embre no abewie enche bia giving ourselves for about 10 minutes yede bewie yesisia uwo bibia obetumi etumi aden any ahye frusura se na woni enche relationship nsem yebedi hu nkomo aware no eze just a piece of paper and then enkrofo bibire nkwara aba no omo ware no mu kopra ne se odin kawa na be sha omo nsa na omo asensan na say ono no the madam of the house waware ewie or the nkawano ashedensa but responsibility ewo mu no your na right in ebem no ubia say I have the right to do this, I have the right to do this, so I have the right to ewo yes ubia wa right ubia mpese ubia beti ti ubia nembom o the equality ni bemu na akwose that equality no and na cancel the canon if you need to be submissive, you have to be submissive. Yes, give respect to your husband should love you, and period. And that's it. That's how it will work. You support each other in so many ways. Intino, Ebusia say, Ojo any away to me at the wajin chere aba. Is marriage just a piece of paper? Your life for YouTube or TikTok, any Facebook. And every day, they can Mr. Wabombo and subscribe to our channel or YouTube. Na bibia kama. Me amedi jumedi nchame medi ede ata bafo jambra utumi efreme the royal king until say ye be she mu bium no ni America ne say money chance for Yankopon entina. If we are choosing a marriage partner, choose wisely. Choose wisely. Choose your friend, your best friend, who will understand you. Most people go in for the money, they don't care. They go in for the beauty, they don't care. They go in for the handsomeness of the man, they don't care. What next? Bema we dia odi mechira mde ni ko yi efe. Oba we dia ne happy dia bi gina so mde ni ko fi bia be wu se ma ware oba. Mebra e ware oba say me dem pese me yire no sisi so sen mebra bi du ebusu ni ma no obi ehu say yes. Me na me your boro, me na me kutu oba papa. But we don't look at the intimacy in a council kano. The intimacy ayonko fasoro nko eda mo mi enu muntem. Se mo bete mo ho ase. To mo be into myself, bete mo ho ase, which is very important. And you know, adisua me ma fa free and the discussion you know. Say you should marry your best friend, and marriage is not just a piece of paper. And yet just a piece of paper that send ye hunu no. Aware and yet just a piece of paper. Aware emu sem doso. Ye the matured people. Unya yamfa mount. You understand? Ibusuya ibe shabium. Many chance for Yankopon tina. Yakramo. Bye bye.